like my job, and I don't think I'm gonna go anymore.
One of these days, I just kick this piece of...
I'm thinking now it might be more fun to just get fired.
Yeah, hi. Welcome to the Bomb Squad Matinee.
Oh, you got the mug.
I am your host for this evening, Tim M. Sullivan, and why don't you just tell us who you are and what exactly it is you do here?
I'm Tanner Richard Kraft, and what I do here is mostly yell at other people about recording, I think.
Yeah. And today...
You're not gonna do that the whole time, are you?
It'll come and go. Today
okay.
we are talking about the 1999 Mike Judge comedy film Office Space, which was the first R-rated movie I ever watched, and the most recent R-rated movie Tanner has watched.
Yeah, this was your first R-rated movie?
It was. I was 11 years old.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. Hell of a start.
Yeah. It was like my oldest brother had like a little jacket of DVDs in his room, and me and my other brother would just pop them in, and Office Space was one of them. And I don't think we knew it was rated R, just because like the reason it's rated R is because they say fuck a lot, and there's some boobs very briefly.
Oh yeah, the breast exam.
Hey Peter, check out Channel 9.
Lawrence is like my hero, I'm gonna be honest.
It's very good. But yeah, to start us off, we have two warm-up questions. First one, Tanner, I gotta know, what would you do if you had $1 million?
Two chicks at once, man.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what I'd do, man. Two chicks at the same time, man.
My real answer. Sorry, I had to say that. You know, you understand. I had to say that.
It had to be said.
Well, the premise of the question is, what would you do if you didn't have to worry about any money? Lately, I've been thinking how much I would love to teach people how to do math.
Okay.
I'm becoming a very different person in my older age. Otherwise, obviously making movies.
That's fair. Yeah. Good answer. You know, there's been like a lot of memes going around. As long as you're not in like Sigma grind set circles, you'll see a lot of memes that are, you know, along the lines of, we weren't meant to be working 40 hours a week. We were meant to be making art and eating figs and having orgies. So I can't really fault the answers of I would do nothing or I would do two chicks at the same time. Both perfectly valid answers.
Good answer. Good answer.
But yeah, like you alluded to, yeah, I probably would be spending a lot more time just working on movies if money wasn't something I had to worry about, because full-time filmmaking is just not a thing in St. Louis. Like, the biggest directors in this town have other jobs that they're doing to make money in between their movies. So yeah, if money wasn't an object, that I would be doing a lot more stuff with movies. But now on to our second warm-up question, which is, this is a movie by Mike Judge, who is mostly a TV guy. He's mostly known for having created King of the Hill and Beavis and Butthead. And so we're probably not going to have a whole lot of opportunities to talk about him until inevitably Ethan hosts Beavis and Butthead Do America. So
coming soon to a theater near you.
There we
go.
The
podcast.
Yeah, we're playing at the Alamo.
Baby.
But yeah, for our second question, let's just talk about our thoughts on the creator Mike Judge. Tanner.
Well, obviously, when we talk about Mike Judge being known for TV, I think it is fair to say there is one TV show he's known for that probably towers over the others. No disrespect to Beavis and Butthead, obviously.
Yeah.
But King of the Hill is one of the most popular television shows ever made.
Yeah.
For good reason. It's an incredible show.
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog.
I fucking love King of the Hill. When I first moved into the apartment I'm living in right now, I just started binge watching King of the Hill, and there's like what, 12, 13 seasons?
Yeah, and they're like making a reboot too.
This is like the 30th time they said they're making a reboot. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
How many times have they remade Futurama? I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. There's a lot of King of the Hill out there. And I've watched all the, like, it's my go-to. I just want to put a TV show on and go to bed. It's my go-to for that because it's kind of comforting. King of the Hill is.
Yeah, like Adult Swim literally puts it on at like 6 p.m. It's just like programmed as, you're tired, you just got home from work, watch King of the Hill and Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, it's perfect for that. I love King of the Hill. I also like a lot of his other work. I like Beavis and Butthead.
Watching the dog! Watching the dog! Watching the dog! Watching the dog!
Idiocracy's Mike Judge as well, right?
Yeah.
I like Idiocracy. I think that's the last movie he did.
He did Extract. That one was a movie that
Never heard of that
exists.
before in my life. As far as I know, you just made that up. I'm gonna be real with you.
We will drop this case right now if you come over here and put your testicles right here and let me slam this door like this!
But King of the Hill is the one that towers above all others. And again, for good reason. It most primarily encompasses something that I think a lot of Mike Judge's work encompasses really well. He understands this post-Reagan era Americana incredibly well. And I'm being very specific here about this post-Reagan era, especially the 1990s, and when we talked about the end of history, which was before 9/11 happened, obviously. The end of history didn't seem like the end of history anymore. But a lot of his work really captures that sort of mundaneness about post-Reagan American society, especially in the 90s and mid-2000s. King of the Hill specifically captures that, but and I'll talk about it more when we talk about the movie. The movie we're talking about today, I think, does a very incredible well of capturing that post-Reagan era America in the workplace.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that, obviously. I think Mike Judge is probably my favorite, as far as I'm aware, conservative creator. He's obviously not like a Trumper. He's like a Bush Republican, which is still not great. Yeah, but he seems like a mostly normal person, so I can tolerate that well enough. I think his work captures that really well. I think it's really funny, but I also think that his work has a lot of heart to it. Again, I will elaborate on this when I talk about it later. This was my first time watching Office Space. Did not know the movie had this much heart in it. Yeah, I think Mike Judge is a brilliant creator, a brilliant TV showrunner, and if that King of the Hill reboot does come to fruition, I will be very excited to watch it. Back to you, Tim.
Hell yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I mean, my thoughts are kind of along the same lines. Like, I love King of the Hill. It's a show I watch a lot, and kind of like what you were talking about, the post-Reagan Americana. Like, I think something that's kind of been a lost art in the MAGA era is writing comedic characters who feel human. Like, I feel like they always push it too far to where it just like stops being relatable or funny a lot of the time these days. But Mike Judge's stuff, like he makes these characters who are like exaggerated caricatures, but they all feel very real. Like watching King the Hill or Office Space or any of his stuff, you can point to just about any character and say, I know someone who's exactly like that, which I think is...
We all know Dale.
True. I worked with a guy once who like was, I swear, the fucking human incarnation of Dale Gribble. It was kind of incredible.
Isn't the voice actor Dale Gribbles, may he rest in peace, also basically just Dale Gribbles?
I don't know too much about him, but I wouldn't be surprised.
First question. Are you paranoid?
Who wants to know?
Did you reply, who wants to know?
Yes.
But yeah, that's something that I think is really good about his work, is that he makes these really human, relatable characters who, a lot of them are shitty people, but they're shitty in a way that, you know, feels relatable, feels like something you would see in your average person and not just like a sort of boogeyman kind of figure. And that's something that's particularly strong in Office Space.
Every single day of my life has been worse than the day before it. So that means that every single day that you see me, that's on the worst day of my life.
What about today? Is today the worst day of your life?
Yeah.
Wow, that's messed up.
So let's get right into it. Our thoughts on Office Space. Tanner, go ahead.
I'm shocked you keep picking me, man.
Yeah, amongst all of the people who are here today.
Full disclosure, chat. This was sort of a last minute thing. We had to do some things behind the scenes.
Yeah, a little bit.
But boy, am I glad we had to do this because I fucking adore this movie. Like I was saying before, this is legitimately my first time having seen Office Space. I've seen a lot of the bits and bobs over the years. You know, I actually regularly quote, "What is it you say you do here?"
What would you say you do here?
I've of course seen the famous printer scene.
I can't believe they have security escort us out. Like we're going to steal something.
I stole something.
Oh, yeah. I guess we all did.
No, I stole something else.
What did you steal?
Call it a going away present.
And those scenes are funny in a vacuum, which makes it all the more impressive that, to me, they're even funnier in the context of the movie. The printer scene especially, because there's like so many scenes of them getting so pissed off at that goddamn printer that when they beat the shit out of it, it's so cathartic.
The PC load letter thing was improvised because he had more dialogue, but then that message actually came up and he's like, what the fuck does that mean?
The point of the exercise is that you're supposed to figure out what you would want to do. If PC load letter, what the fuck does that mean?
I did not know that. That's incredible. Yeah, we've all dealt with a piece of shit printer in our lives. And let me tell you, as an someone who's an IT, information technology, I'm a tech. I work on computers and I work on printers. There have been plenty of times in my life I'm working on a printer. I'm like, I just want to take this out back with a baseball bat and just start hammering at it.
Why does it say pepper jam when there is no pepper jam? I swear to God, one of these days I just kick this piece of shit out the window.
It's obviously a mile a minute laugh fest. I want to give a shout out to Rob Livingston. I believe I'm getting his name right. The main actor, who has this everyman quality to him that I think kind of makes him just really great and relatable. He's like the most normal guy. And here's the thing, it can be difficult to be the leading man in a movie and also be the most normal guy.
Yeah.
That's like a very thin line you have to walk because let's be honest, movie stars are fucking psychopaths. I say that with love in my heart. I love them. They are crazy people. You kinda have to be.
Yeah.
Which makes a leading man performance like this that is quite frankly very compelling while also still having that incredible everyman quality to it all the more impressive. But the entire cast is great. Gary Cole as the boss, who I just, every time he opened his mouth, I legitimately wanted to slam my head through a wall. He was like, yeah, listen,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to, especially when it was the part where the Bobs were talking about how this guy should get promoted. And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. I wanted to like legitimately slam my head through a wall. Nothing has infuriated me more lately. Just his exact speaking pattern. And we've all had a boss who sucks. We've all had a boss who sucks. I'm lucky. I've only really had one boss that kind of sucked. For the most part, I'm on good terms of all the bosses I've had in my life. But even the one that kind of sucked, when it was just like a listen here, bud, I'm like, don't you condescend me.
Yeah.
I am here because I have bills to pay. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Who hasn't wanted to stop going to work, by the way, and just stop going, stop paying bills, just live your life.
Yeah.
Zen, nirvana, doing nothing. But of course, the entire rest of the cast is great as well. The guy whose last name nobody can get right, and therefore I'm not even gonna try. He's great, love him. Michael Bolin, fantastic. That's another thing. I've always heard why should I change it? He's the one that sucks.
Yeah.
Again, even funnier in the context of the movie because every time someone sees Michael Bolton, they get so excited. And it's just like that sort of like, yeah, of course you're excited. This is the 7th time this happened to him today.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Why don't you just go by Mike instead of Michael?
No way. Why should I change? He's the one who sucks.
And Jennifer Aniston at the peak of Friends.
Yeah.
Is in this like indie movie. Am I tripping? Like this is a low budget movie. Maybe not indie, but it's low budget for sure.
Yeah, like apparently 20th Century Fox wanted them to get like one big name, and like everybody else at that time were more or less unknowns. Like obviously Stephen Root got big, but everybody else.
And Gary Cole has had a lot of great stuff.
That too, yeah. Gary Cole is pretty big, but like Jennifer Aniston was like their star that they needed to make the movie, and apparently Ron Livingston was talking about how like he was so starstruck when she came onto the set, and he like tried to keep it in for the first couple days, and then eventually just like caved, just like, you're so cool.
Jennifer Aniston, by the way, also great in this movie. She plays the love interest perfectly, and like you want to root for them. I was live texting Tim a little bit when they had their little breakup scene. I was distraught. I was like, no, you can't do this to me. But it then led to the funniest fucking thing ever, which is like his boss, balls deep in some broad, doing the, yeah, if you could just, yeah, that's it, great. Hey, Peter, how's it going? I was just like, this is like one of the most realistic nightmares I have seen in my life.
Yeah.
I have had a horrifying dream of this vein. Watching someone have sex in a very meme-tastic way is horrifying.
Truly.
It's a mile-a-minute laugh fest, and I appreciate how at the end of the movie, it wasn't even necessarily that he hated working, he just didn't have a job that was fulfilling for him.
Yeah.
The job I worked before the one I have now was a job where I was a help desk worker for lawyers. And you want to know what law firm I helped? A law firm that is the second biggest law firm in the world. And also, their specialty is corporate mergers. Do you know how fucking soul-sucking that was?
I imagine quite a bit.
I came home wanting to every day. I wanted to die every day. It was miserable. I was so happy. I mean, I was upset I got fired because I was like, shit, what am I going to do now? I have bills to pay.
Yeah.
But the next job I got now is a job I have now where I work at a college doing IT work still. And yeah, there are some shitty customers, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm doing? I am helping people learn. And that is much better on the soul. And you know what? I'm sure making buildings is better on the soul than changing software lines for a goddamn bank.
Yeah.
Sometimes you are just the type of person where you need your job to feel like it means something. And I was happy to see that at the end of the movie. I'm sure I'll have more to say in general discussion. But for now, back to you, Tim.
Yeah, good stuff. One of the things you alluded to when they're talking about how Peter should get a promotion, he goes, yeah. Like that specific line reading. So this movie was based on one of Mike Judge's early animated shorts, and the Bill Lumber character in the animated version does that like yeah bit, and Gary Cole like very specifically wanted to insert that into a scene.
The cartoon version of Lumber went ooh. Ooh. And so I said, Mike, can I put the ooh in that scene?
Ooh. So that's how we got that little
It's
little
so goddamn infuriating.
It's so good. But yeah, like I said, this was the first R-rated movie I ever watched, and wasn't even really aware at the time that it was R-rated. Apparently, at one point they were like gonna try and make it PG-13, but the Michael Bolton actor is like, absolutely not. I'm gonna curse up a storm in this fucking movie.
Give it to me. Come on, you little fucker. Let's go. That's what I need. Let's do that. Let's do exactly that, you little fuck.
But yeah, but I love this movie. This is a movie I've watched several times over the course of my life. And like, there's a lot of like late 90s, early 2000s comedies that like I watched a lot when I was younger, and not all of them have aged super great, but I think this one
has no trans jokes. It's great.
It's great. Nothing there is an F slur in like the credits, but it's like if that's the worst,
the movie's over, it doesn't count.
Yeah. If that's the worst offense this whole movie has, it's pretty solid. It stands up pretty well. And yeah, very, very funny. Like we were talking about, very real feeling characters. Like everyone's had a coworker like one of these characters before. The Milton character was like actually inspired by one of Mike Judge's former coworkers, who was just like this guy who's just sitting in his cubicle, nobody talked to him, and then one day he just decides randomly to go up to him and just like, hey, how's it going? And he just like starts talking about, I'm gonna quit, I've been moved 3 times, I can't do this anymore. So there is very much a realness to that, and I love that. Which, yeah, I'll get into this. Stephen Root, he is like an actual serious actor, and he does serious roles really well, but I tend to gravitate towards his comedic roles, and especially this role. Like, this is the role that I think of when I think Stephen Root. He's the heart of the movie. His character's just so goddamn funny, just muttering to himself the whole time.
The cake scene, the fucking cake scene killed me.
Now, Milton, don't be greedy. Let's pass it along and make sure everyone gets a piece.
Okay, but last time I didn't receive a piece, and I was told that
Just
I could have...
pass.
Okay. If I can see the cake. There's lots of cake, but there's many people. The ratio of people to cake is too many. The cake is the piece of cake. Could set the room on fire.
It's so good. And yeah, just everything with him was incredible. Yeah, Ron Livingston is great as the leading role. I think it was like a very smart idea to kind of get unknowns for all these characters, so that they can, you know, give more kind of authentic performances. And probably the fact that he wasn't like a superstar allowed him to walk that sort of like normal sea line you were talking about a little bit better. Yeah, it's all very good, and I'll probably have more coherent thoughts when we get to general discussion. So we're gonna take a quick ad break, and we'll be right back.
What about 2 Bar Carl's Jr.?
Why do you keep saying that?
Because they pay me every time I do. It's a really good way to make money.
Welcome back from that ad break. Time for another ad. MoviePalette.com. It's a website that has these little art pieces with thin lines representing the primary color of each frame in a film. Got one up there for the film Mandy. Tanner's got one behind him for Punch Drunk Love. You could probably get one for Office Space, or any other movie they might have on there. Even if they don't have it, you can pay a little extra to get one custom made. Just go to MoviePalette.com and use the promo code SQUAD15 to save 15% on your order. Now, back to the show. So, there's a little adage people like to say a lot about, you know, raunchy movies. They couldn't make this today, you know. They couldn't make Blazing Saddles today. You
couldn't make Blazing Saddles today. Most of the cast and crew is dead.
You couldn't make Blazing Saddles today. It's already 2:30 and takes several months to make a movie.
Yeah.
But this is a movie that you could only specifically set in 1999 because a huge element of the plot is the 2000 switch, which was a real thing. There are a lot of stories from like anyone who was working.
People like to act like that was like some mass paranoia. I need to emphasize this. It was the tireless work of thousands of software engineers that made it that it was not a disaster.
Yeah.
It could have been a disaster. We are lucky it wasn't.
Yeah.
Sorry, I get mad about that.
Yeah, if you ask anyone who was a software engineer in 1999, they will tell you about the crazy fucking crunch they were doing that year. So this is a movie that could only be set in 1999, and I think it's for the best that it was made in 1999. Because I think if they did it like today as a period piece, they would have to keep reminding you that it's in 1999. They couldn't just let the story play out. And
when some guy would like rip out a pack of Pogs.
Yeah, it would be constant like pop culture references. And something we were talking about on the text chat was how good the soundtrack is, the 90s rap.
Oh my god,
soundtrack.
It is a fantastic soundtrack. I was so mad the Biz Marquee song in the credits wasn't on Spotify because it's great.
Take this job and shove it. Yeah, the soundtrack's incredible, and I feel like if they made that movie today, the instinct wouldn't be to go for 90s rap. They would probably go for like pop from the 90s, because that seems to always be the go-to to show that a movie is set in a time, is to play the pop from that time.
Instead of like the awesome rap song we hear when you're beating up the printer, you hear bop, 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 doo, bop.
Yeah.
Some fucking mbop.
Some shit like that. But yeah, the rap soundtrack is incredible. That printer smashing scene obviously is just fucking iconic. I have multiple friends who have filmed parodies of that scene. It's so good. Like, a couple of my brother's friends, when we were younger, like, they filmed a parody of them just smashing a Macintosh computer because they were PC people.
Hell yeah.
And you see that shit all over YouTube. Just look up Office Space printer destruction parody. You're probably gonna get, like, hundreds of thousands of results because it's such an iconic scene. It's funny how, like, in 1999, you have this movie and you also have The Matrix. I feel like that could be a really good double feature. Is Office Space and The Matrix.
They both do kind of tie into the fucking how mundane and bullshit this all is.
Yeah, and like watching it this time, Ron Livingston almost felt like a bargain bin Keanu Reeves.
He kind of has that vibe, doesn't he?
Yeah. I watched a little documentary retrospective thing that was on the Blu-ray earlier today, and there were some funny stories. Stephen Root in particular had a couple funny stories. Like, apparently, like, those glasses he wore were so thick that he just could not see shit behind them, so he literally wore contacts with the glasses on just so he could see anything. And like his depth perception was so off that he had to like do a test feel for anything in front of him before
That's incredible.
shooting a scene.
Well, it's crazy just how big his eyes look in it. It's really funny.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize that as Stephen Root until the credits. I went, what?
Yeah. And another funny bit was like there was one line that he like fought to get into the movie, which is when he's on the phone just talking about I was over by the window and I saw the squirrels and they were married, which was just like his way of describing that he saw squirrels fucking, but he's so innocent that he interprets that as they were married, which he says is like that sentence is the heart of his whole character.
I have to say though, the funny thing with that scene in particular for me was, he's talking about like, I'm gonna quit because I'm sick and tired of this bullshit I'm being treated to here. And you think, oh, he's like talking to like a family member or a loved one. And then the camera moves over and he's just talking to Peter in the next cubicle over.
Yeah, that's great, Milton.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
And he almost gets away. He almost did get away.
Yeah.
The fucking audacity to be like, almost forgot. Need you to come in on Sunday too. Terrific.
Yeah, and then after that, they have the hypnotherapist thing, which, like, they kind of go into later when he's telling Michael that he's about to get fired. He's just like, when I saw that fat man keel over and die, we don't have much time on this earth. We weren't meant to be spending it behind cubicles. And, like, funny thing has happened in the last year or so for me. Like, I'm not the kind of person who says that, like, your life ends at 30. Like, I actually, in a lot of ways, feel like I'm living the life I wanted to live more than I was in my 20s. But I'm becoming more hyper-aware of my mortality lately. And so that line, like, really struck a chord with me on this viewing. Like, it's something I've always been aware of, but, like, now I'm just like, you're right. You're right, man.
I love the scene of Peter. This kind of ties back into the soundtrack again. Of Peter just fucking up his office. Well, damn, it feels good to be a gangster. Blaze.
It's very good.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. A real gangster ass nigga plays his cards right. A real gangster ass nigga never runs his mouth.
I watched the Knuckles show on Paramount Plus, and there is an episode that opens with Knuckles riding on a motorcycle while Damn It Feels Good to Be a Gangster is playing.
Wow.
The show's not great. It's a 6 out of 10 at best, but that is Operation Kino right there.
There we go. We're bringing it in. We're bringing it in already. You know, what else is Operation Kino about this movie? We didn't really talk about this. The Bobs, the consultants that are there, that downsize the company. Peter's just like, I hate my stupid fucking piece of shit job. Yeah. I hate you. I hate everything I'm doing. And they're like, oh, we got to promote you right away. We're going to get people under you. At least 4 people under you. And I'm like, why is that like a bragging point that you get to boss people around? What the fuck?
He's a straight shooter with upper management material written all over him.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with you there.
Yeah, I love John C. McGinley in this. Like, he's an actor who plays one role, but he always plays that one role really well. Like, if you've watched Scrubs, you like Dr. Cox, great news. He's Dr. Cox in everything.
You know, speaking of the most famous scene with his character, though, is what is it would you say you do here? Obviously, I've seen that scene for a very long time. I texted Tim this when I was watching. This was me telling him I have never seen it before, because I didn't realize that they're actually 100% justified in asking him what the hell it is he does. Because from the sounds of it, he doesn't fucking do anything.
Yeah, the downsizing is not great, but yeah, what is it that he does there? I'm just glad
you know what? They should have brought in George Clooney from Up in the Air.
I was thinking that, like, the whole time I was watching that aspect of the movie, I was like, this hits different after watching Up in the Air. Like, they're literally doing the thing.
Well, especially the part where it's like, oh, we don't want to have conflict.
Yeah.
Hire George Clooney.
We fixed the glitch, so he's not going to be getting a paycheck, so it'll just work itself out.
He fixed the glitch. Yeah, I love that, and yet he's still there. I haven't received my paycheck this week.
You're gonna have to talk to payroll about that.
Payroll says they need to talk.
Mill, we're gonna move you downstairs into storage B. We could literally just be quoting this whole movie, the whole podcast.
We could. It's so quotable. We haven't talked about his neighbor character enough. Lawrence is great.
Yeah, Diedrich Bader is so good.
When he's introduced, you think, oh, he's gonna be some annoying dick. No, he's just a cool guy.
Yeah, I love when they're like coming up with the scheme. He's like, don't worry, guys, I won't tell anybody too. Who the fuck was that? No, don't worry, he's cool.
No, don't worry, he's good. I love that. I loved how it was, don't worry, he's cool. I also love that, like, him being told his friends are going to be fired seems to be what somewhat snapped him out of his hypnosis.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the love of his friends.
Yeah. And like you kind of talked about this in your review, how like his job doing construction work is a lot more fulfilling than him sitting behind a desk doing coding. And like I'll say this, like right now I'm working in a company that does event work, like we set up for parties and stuff, and like it's not the greatest job in the world, but like it's probably one of the best working situations I've been in. Like it's work where I get to exercise and primarily surrounded by people I enjoy working with, which is more than I can say for just about any other job I've worked. So yeah, sometimes just that little change makes all the difference.
Part of what makes my current job great isn't just that I feel like I'm actually making a difference with helping educators educate. I also love my coworkers. They're all friends. We regularly hang out outside of work. That's great. It's great to have that.
Really is.
Just this past Wednesday, I went out to the Cardinals game with them, and they saw me dump root beer all over myself. I'll send you that video if you want to put it in here.
Hell yeah. Got that B-roll.
We got that B-roll. 1-800 BB roll. Beer. I'm sorry. Total tangent. That's like their only good video. Have you tried watching the other videos on that YouTube channel? They're not very funny.
No. I think I watched that video back when I watched Tosh Point0, and it was just because they played it in an episode.
Couldn't make Tosh Point0 today.
Couldn't.
Daniel Tosh is dead.
It's true.
Whatever happened to the soup with Joe McHale? That was good. We should bring that back.
I feel like there's probably a lot of soup adjacent shows now.
Half of YouTube is just the soup.
That is also true. What are we doing, honestly?
Is this not that different from the soup with Joel McHale? Am I Joel McHale? I just slowly start morphing. Oh, I'm becoming douchier.
We need you in the Community movie that'll be filming at some point, maybe.
some point in the next 10 years or perhaps potentially more, perhaps.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Apparently it's his fault right now. It's not Donald Glover's fault. It's his fault that they can't fucking get that thing off the ground.
Somehow not surprised.
It's like, it's his schedule that's a problem right now.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're making it, boy, we're both Community fans here, right?
Yeah, it was the funniest thing. Like, I watched the first season and a half when it aired and then just dropped off. And then one day I actually decided on a whim to do that Netflix thing where it's just like hit random and it just shows you something, and then it hit me with episode 1 of Community. It's like, yeah. And then I just watched the whole show.
It's so good. Season 6 is kind of weird. That's the Yahoo season, though.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, they love to shit on season 4 because of like the different writers, but season 4 is not that bad.
I like season 4.
Yeah, I like season 4 fine.
The hate. Season 4 is fine.
Yeah, like
season 3 is the best season, don't get me wrong, and season 4 is probably the worst season, but it's still fine.
Yeah, like I watched that not even realizing the difference in the writers, and I was like, yeah, season 4 was all right.
Well, I could tell because like it was something specifically about Pierce's character felt off in season 4, but not in a bad way. We're talking about Office Space.
We're talking about Office Space. So, back to the printer smashing scene. One of the funniest, like, understated bits in the movie for me is after they smash it and they're just, like, dancing in Peter's apartment, and Samir fucking break dances and does the kick flip spin thing, which apparently, like, that actor, like, he is, like, a super, like, hip-hop breakdancer kind of person, and I guess it was Mike Judge really wanted him to work breakdancing into the movie somewhere, and he was like, I don't know if this character would do that, and he's like, no, that is who he is outside of work. And so then he just gets to let loose in that one scene, and it's so funny to me.
Yeah, that whole everything about it is just so fantastic. The printer scene, it's just so funny. It's just so good. The like, not we didn't shoot this for slow motion, but we're playing back in slow motion.
Goes out of control and touch on subjects motherfuckers read about. I touch on the shit that they be leaving out.
I'm gonna be honest, that makes anything funnier.
Yeah, and like that was just, you know, that was the style at the time.
Limits of technology too. They weren't gonna use a fucking like 5,000 frame per second camera for this. Like,
right.
I'm gonna look up the budget for this. It could not have been more than like a couple $1 million.
Yeah, it was a small production.
10 million and only made 12 million at the box office. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was another thing that I was reading was like it flopped in theaters, and Mike Judge blames the marketing because I guess the original poster for it just had like the guy covered in Post-its, and he just thought that just did not sell the movie at all, and he was so pissed off about it. So he like demanded that they throw Milton in right behind him, and then like it fucking did numbers on home video. There's another one of those like The Thing type stories where crashed and burned in theaters, but then got its second life on home video.
This is very much a home video type movie. Like, there are some movies, every movie I think deserves to be seen in theaters, but there are some movies where you're like, I was meant to watch this in my living room. This is one of them.
Yeah, and like I don't remember if they did that for the Alamo this year because of the like they're doing the time capsule.
The time capsule. I do not remember seeing Office Space on the app ever.
Yeah, like they
and 99 would have been more the beginning of the year. So
yeah, and like they could have, and I wouldn't have mind seeing it in the theater. But like obviously, the reason to see this in the theater would be to see it with like a packed house and get the vibes of everybody reacting to the different jokes. This would have been a good movie party movie.
Yeah, people that are like, are fans.
Yeah, and like the item could have been a stapler.
They gave me an actual stapler, that'd be awesome. I don't have a stapler. I wish I did. I love the part at the end where he gets the stapler out of the rubble and he's like, I know someone who will want this.
Yeah, I do love that. Apparently they like weren't making red swing line staplers when they made this movie. So they like had art department paint a swing line stapler red, and then after this movie came out, it was like so in demand that Swing Line started making red staplers, and it's their most highly sold color.
Well, I mean, it's just a good stapler.
Yeah. And Apparently, this movie also resulted in TGI Fridays no longer requiring their servers to wear flare.
Wait, that was based off of a real company doing that?
I guess they're like I guess the whole thing was like kind of making fun of TGI Fridays, and like they hit on the flare thing so hard that they were like embarrassed, I guess, about it.
I was like infuriated on her behalf. Every time he's like, you know, we don't want people that do just the bare minimum. Fuck you! She's doing her job!
Right, yeah. Apparently that is Mike Judge playing the manager. I didn't realize.
Wait, that's Mike Judge?
Yeah, I didn't realize that until I was watching that doc thing. I guess it was, they did that because they casted it so late that he was just like, fuck it, I'll play it. But like, it was based on like servers that or like managers that he'd seen in restaurants. Like, I guess there was some restaurant he was in at some point, and some manager was like talking to a waitress going, I don't like this cup here, I want it here. And he's just like, this kind of piece of shit needs to be in the movie.
That's incredible, because that is like, if not for Peter's boss, Mr. whatever, but the fucking birthday scene where they all say, Happy birthday, Mr. I wanted to punch somebody. That made me so mad.
It's so funny how just dead inside everybody is singing happy birthday.
But somehow Joanne's boss is like almost as annoying.
Yeah, it's like a different energy of annoying. Like, there's sort of the like corporate soul sucking, like if you've seen What We Do in the Shadows, he's an energy vampire. Like that kind of person. And then the Tchotchke's manager is on a similar wavelength, but it's just like, we just want everybody to express themselves.
You know what? Yeah, I do. I do want to express myself. Okay? And I don't need 37 pieces of flair to do it. And this is me expressing myself.
It's the biggest, like, dude, you're paying me minimum wage.
Less than minimum wage, almost certainly.
Oh, yeah, because, yeah, that's right. They're waitresses. It's a big, I don't give a fuck. Please shut the fuck up.
Yeah, she's working for tips at best.
Just the most infuriating people alive, all brought to life in this movie. Just the worst type of people you want. By the end of this movie, you know what? I hope the boss died in the office fire. It's never confirmed he lived.
There apparently was a scene they shot where Lumberg's car was like getting towed. It got cut, and Gary Cole was like happy that it got cut because he just kind of thought that character should be in the same emotional state at all times. So like seeing him break, he was just like, no, you should just be, yeah. That would have been extra funny.
You do see a little bit of his car getting towed, because when Peter parks in his spot and he parks in the disability spot, what a fucking asshole. They try to tow his car away and it just rips the bumper off.
Yeah. It would have been very funny seeing him watch his car get towed and just go, yeah, that's not great. Or something.
I love how he's such a big douchebag. His license plate says my Porsche. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah. Speaking of douchebags, Drew, I think his name is, the O
face guy?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna see my O face. Ow. 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 What are you doing, man?
That again is just like one of those characters who like we all have worked with or have been to school with this person at some point.
Tim and I have both been to school with this person.
True. But it was very funny hearing him describe that extremely like significant moment in Tom Slidell's life where he's like about to kill himself, but then he sees his wife and decides he wants to live, and he's just like describing all of this in the douchiest way possible. Just like, sees his wife, then he decides he wants to live. Then he gets hit by a car.
You know what Drew's character like reminded me of, specifically the whole O-face scene?
Yeah.
It reminded me of Chris Farley and Billy Madison, where he's like, that teacher's one hot piece of ass. Yeah, I hit that.
No, you
didn't. Yeah, but wouldn't it be awesome if I did? When are we doing a Billy Madison app? Tim. That'd be fun.
What's that movie? 95 next year.
Yeah, baby. No, I'm kind of on an Adam Sandler kick mood lately. I just rewatched Mr. Deeds yesterday. Gave that shit 5 stars. Cried 5 times. I don't give a fuck.
Very funny movie.
Very funny movie with a good amount of heart. I need to emphasize this. It's like at the end of the day, it's just a couple of buds trying to do right by each other. Like, it's actually very sweet when Peter's like I'm gonna take the fall for all of this, and then it's very funny when he tries to immediately take it back and he just pushes the envelope further under.
Yeah, it's one of those movies where, like, I think comedy is tricky because, like, you need to have like a perfect balance of like heart and maybe just a little bit of mean-spiritedness, and I think this one has that. I think this movie has both of those in like perfect harmony, and
110%, yes.
And that's why it holds up. Like some of my favorite comedy movies of when I was a kid, like I loved the shit out of Anchorman as a kid. Like, I still laugh when I watch it, but it hasn't aged the absolute best. There's a little bit of questionable stuff in there, but like this is just peak. This is just a good movie.
You know what movies have aged well? Adam Sandler movies. A lot of them are very wholesome.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore is just always funny anytime I put it on.
I'm constantly thinking of that shot at the end where it's like, "Hi, Happy," and it's this golf instructor, the alligator, and inexplicably Abraham Lincoln.
It's so
just looking down on from heaven. It's so good. Who are you talking to, Happy? No one. They're gonna make a Happy Gilmore 2. How do you feel about that?
Not great. I don't think it's gonna be good.
You know, what if it is?
If it is, I will be. I'm gonna hold out for the jury on that one.
I'm gonna be there opening night, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
I don't have a choice in the matter.
Yeah, Adam Sandler is personally getting you there at gunpoint.
Basically. I mean, have you seen Uncut Gems? Great movie.
Yeah. All right. We're going to get into final thoughts now. Tanner, go ahead.
A deeply hilarious movie, a very wholesome movie, and just kind of perfectly encapsulates post-Reagan in the workplace in the 90s. What more can you ask for? Fucking A, man. Fucking A.
Fucking A, man. Yeah, this is a great movie. Absolutely love it. Stands the test of time. Just a evergreen comedy. It's on Hulu, so if you have Hulu, you can stream it.
That's where I watched it.
You can probably pick up the Blu-ray for like $5. I'm
going to do that.
It's a very accessible movie, so definitely check it out if you haven't seen it, or if you haven't, you just want to watch something silly and fun and light. And that's gonna do it for this episode of Bomb Squad Matinee. Thank you for tuning in. If you are listening on the audio platforms, please give us a review. It may help us in the algorithms, but in any case, we just want to know what you're thinking. How are we doing? So just give us a review, give some feedback. We'd appreciate it. Yeah, if you're listening on Spotify, how about you give some money to our Patreon? We got some reward tiers. $5 tier is going to get you some commentary tracks, which our first one is going to be coming out by the 31st of the month. So be sure.
We're recording it today.
We are recording it today. We're going to be watching Space Jam. So if you want to put on Space Jam and listen to us talk as we also watch Space Jam, tune in. It's going to be great. Just give us $5 for that. And then $10, you also get the commentary tracks and a shout out. So many thanks to Jason Secord, our longtime supporter, and also Tanner's mom, Tanya Kraft. We much appreciate.
Thanks, Mom.
We much appreciate all of the support that both of you have given our channel. So thanks for that. And if you want to be just as cool as they are, just donate to our $10 tier. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching. Leave a comment below. Let us know. What do you think of Office Space? What's your favorite Mike Judge comedy? Are you afraid Idiocracy will happen? Comment below and let us know. And while you're down there, hit the like button if you like the video. And hit the subscribe button if you want to see more. And if you could just go ahead and hit that bell icon, that'd be great. Be sure to tune in next week for whatever we end up talking about. And remember, Going forward, we're putting the new covers on the TPS
Oh my
reports.
god! That pissed me off so bad.
I'll get you another copy of that memo. Okay. Farewell.
See you next time. Bye.
I believe you have my stapler.
I slid my ticket across the table and I said, "Sorry guys, I gotta see about a girl."